mentorship. We are blessed to be well educated as a whole. Right now, many of you are aware of area public schools. You know, the Aurora public schools, Chicago public schools. These are schools that desperately need mentors. So what if there aren't people who are of the Indian American community in those schools? We can still lead, we can still mentor them. And the Balaji Temple can take such a strong role in helping those who don't have the opportunity for education. Most of you came here for educational opportunity. Most of you came here because you believe in the power of education and that knowledge is power. We can share that. We can use our skills. We are, after all, overrepresented in fields such as engineering and mathematics, things that I was never good at. And we can use those skills to teach those in need. And the second and third generation, that resonates with them. The other thing, too, that I'm actually really happy to see, when I walked in, I saw the food being served. You know one thing I didn't see? Styrofoam. You know, we talk about protecting the earth, right? And yet, we waste so much within our temples. And the fact that the Balaji Temple was not using styrofoam was a blessing to me. I think we can take a lead on environmental issues as well. Let's be good stewards of the earth. Let's preserve. Let's make sure that we as Hindus are aware of just how precious the earth is to us. And that resonates. I'm telling you, second and third and fourth generation Hindu Americans believe in this. Trust me, I've talked to many of them. This is one way to get younger folks involved in a constructive way, in a way that advocates for the strengthening of our Hindu identity. Now, this is a more controversial subject, but I think it bears mentioning. There are a lot of issues in our community that we sweep under the rug. Let's face it, we don't like to talk about quote-unquote bad things. But temples can take the lead, just as churches, mosques, and synagogues have done, to address issues that are facing our community. Mental health issues, right? Sexism, even domestic violence, things that we're afraid to talk about in public. But temples can take a lead in counseling and providing fora for professionals to come and talk. This is another aspect where we can harness the strength of our community, our second and third generation folks who are professionals and practitioners. Another area where temples can take the lead is creating dialogue. So one is interfaith dialogue. Some of you have children or relatives who have married non-Hindus. And obviously there's that need to have an understanding of interfaith. But what about intrafaith? So many of us believe that, oh, we're just all Hindus. But you know at the end of the day, there's always going to be conflict. You know, whether it's the Gujarati person who marries a Tamil person, the Punjabi person who marries the Kannada person, the Trinidadian who marries the Mauritian. But guess what? The temples can take a lead in fostering intrafaith dialogue. That, I think, is going to be able to sustain us. Because in this day and age, let's face it, how many of us really believe that in 50 years, we're going to be going exactly on the subsect, you know, the exact gotram, you know, it's not going to happen. And I think the sooner we're realistic about that, the more successful we will be in defining Hinduism on our own terms. Last but not least, let's all have realistic conversations about who we are as Hindus. Parents, let's take the time to talk to our children. And those of you who are younger, take the time to ask questions. Let's not live in these silos where we assume that our kids are perfect and that they don't face daily pressures. And likewise, what I learned in my own experience, let's not assume as kids that our parents don't know anything. Let's have conversations. Let's learn together. You know, one of the greatest things for me was having a conversation with my mom, who passed away several years ago. We did not know, neither of us knew the meaning of something. There was a story, I forget exactly what the story was about. So we looked it up on the web together. And to me, that shared learning was something that I will cherish for the rest of my life. And I think that the way that temples can help to sustain, to build the gopurams for generations to come, really are through these opportunities here. Really is about fostering dialogue within our community, outside of our community, reaching out, and making sure that when it says the doors are welcome to all, they really mean it. Aurora is a beautiful, diverse community. Whites, African Americans, Latinos, other East Asian groups. Guess what? We have a chance to lead this community. We have a chance to make our impact felt for generations to come. And I think that's a fantastic opportunity. I'm so blessed to be here with all of you. I really believe that if you have faith that this temple can take the lead on community building initiatives, that sort of advocacy can not only sustain Hinduism, provide a model for success for temples across the Hindu diaspora. Thank you so much.
Let's give a big hand. Thank you for coming and giving us the opportunity to look into what
Well accomplished.